Y'all, I have put together an entire list of historical events that have happened in the cryptocurrency space since its inception. Stay tuned. What's up, good people? Welcome back to Urban FinTech at the G Spot Studios channel, where we try to make finance and technology sexy. I'm your girl, G. In 2008, the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was introduced by an unknown person or group of people under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, the introduction of Bitcoin marked the beginning of a new era in digital currencies and blockchain technology. Bitcoin's decentralized nature and limited supply have made it an attractive investment option for many people, and it has grown significantly since. Now, in 2010, an individual by the name of Laszlo Hanyecz, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, made the first real-world transaction using Bitcoin to buy a pizza, which he purchased for 10,000 BTC. And now I'm sure Laszlo is kicking himself, honey, because in today's market, 10,000 BTC is close to $300 million. A year later, in 2011, Litecoin, which is a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, was created by Charlie Lee. And in 2011, the Silk Road, an online black market that used Bitcoin as its primary currency, was also launched. And for a while, Litecoin was really a heavy hitter. You had a lot of people who were invested into it, who were bought into it, but that sentiment has slowly died down over the years. You still have some diehard fans, some people who have been in it from the beginning, but it's just not what it used to be, honey. In 2013, Ripple, a digital currency and payment protocol, was also launched. We also get the first Bitcoin ATM, which was installed in Vancouver, Canada. And also in 2013, the FBI, well, they shut down the Silk Road and seized over 144,000 Bitcoins. And now let the trouble begin, baby. In 2014, Mt. Gox, which is one of the exchanges from back in the day, well, they were one of the largest Bitcoin holders of exchanges, and they filed for bankruptcy after losing 850,000 Bitcoins. And this bankruptcy really was a significant event in our history of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, because it highlighted the need for a better security and measures around regulation within the industry. In 2015, Ethereum was launched, and Ethereum introduced smart contracts and decentralized applications to the blockchain world. The innovation has paved the way for many new use cases for blockchain technology, and we know since then Ethereum has grown significantly. A year later, in 2016, the DAO, or the Decentralized Autonomous Organization hack, had occurred, resulting in the loss of $50 million in Ethereum. And you know, with the Bitcoin hack and now the Ethereum hack, with the loss of millions of dollars worth of Ether, this event highlighted the need for better security again, and smart contract decentralized applications needed to have some kind of regulation and securitized movements around it as well. And also in 2016, we get good news. This was the first time in the history of Bitcoin at that time that it reached its all-time high of $20,000. And I think this was a time where people really started getting serious about Bitcoin and what it could do. It really, for people who had skin in the game, let them know that this is not just some Ponzi scheme. There is something to this. It might go into the next sort of monetary instruments that we use in our economic structures. And so people began to buy into it. Not only literally, but figuratively, the idea of Bitcoin became more mainstream, and people were more sold on the idea to invest. And so happens when you have a bunch of people who see the potential of a new sort of technology? Well, you get those who want to jump on board. You get the bandwagoners, right? So in 2017, the initial coin offering, or ICOs, became a very popular way for new startups to raise funds using cryptocurrencies. And thus, I guess this began a little bit of that saturation into the cryptocurrency and blockchain market with these new startups, some of them not the best and some really good, that were trying to get their skin in the game, get their foot in the door. In 2018, the SEC rejected several Bitcoin ETF proposals. Not sure why, because we have several that are up for a test right now in 2023, and it looks like there may be some that get approved. But maybe the SEC thought it was just too early. We needed to get some more understanding on what this market, this new technology is. But I think they're ready. And the SEC's rejection of these Bitcoins at the time were significant because it really was a drawback into the cryptocurrency world. Many people saw this as a sign that regulators and others were not ready to embrace cryptocurrency. And as we know, each year that market, cryptocurrency market, has grown significantly. In 2019, Facebook, they announced plans to launch its own cryptocurrency called Libra. As we know, this did not happen, but had it, man, that would have been a big deal because Facebook has one of the largest user bases in the world in terms of social media platforms. And so for them to get into the game and be able to create a currency around that platform would have been just life-changing. And so Facebook's announcement of its own cryptocurrency Libra generated a lot of buzz, and we know it did, within the cryptocurrency industry. However, the regulatory concerns eventually led the project to being scaled back significantly, and to the point where they just dropped it and was like, you know what, forget it. And so while Facebook was having a little bit of bad luck, Bitcoin was still thriving. Also in 2019, Bitcoin underwent its third halving, reducing the block reward to 6.25 BTC. And of course, we know from our other videos that the Bitcoin halving is a process that occurs every 4 years when the reward for mining Bitcoin transactions is cut in half. Halving reduces the rate at which new coins are created, and thus it lowers the available amount of new supply. This usually increases the price of Bitcoin also. So this is something to consider because we're entering another halving in Bitcoin within the next month or so. Of course, our favorite year on record in our lifetime, 2020. 2020, the decentralized finance, or the DeFi movement, gained momentum with total value locked in DeFi protocols that reached over $1 billion. So the first time this whole industry reached over $1 billion was in 2020. And there was a bit of a setback when the pandemic hit, but we got back on track a year later. And so yeah, lots was moving, lots was shaking, but we're still in the game, baby. Now in 2021, the NFT, or the non-fungible token market, had its best year yet with over $23 billion in trading volume. The innovation of NFTs has opened up new opportunities for artists and creators to monetize their work using blockchain technology. Now it has since drastically dropped, but I think there will be another push. There will be another sort of surge of new money, new investors into the NFT space. In doing my research, I was quite shocked to find this information, but in late 2021, the first Bitcoin ETF was approved in the United States. As of, again, my current knowledge, the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, also known as BITO or BITO, is the first US listed Bitcoin ETF that has been trading since October 19th, 2021. In 2021 or 2021, it was a year that saw significant growth in blockchain technology. That is probably the year where we received our highest amount of investors into the market, of new investors, new people wanting to get into the market. And that was a great year, but it crashed, honey, crashed by the end of the year. And so Fast forward, we're entering into 2022 and more crashes. FTX, a major cryptocurrency exchange, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on November 11th, 2022. The liquidity crunch had customers demanding withdrawals, and Binance abandoned the non-binding acquisition agreement they had with FTX. The collapse of FTX took place over a 10-day period. 10 days, they were worth money. 10 days is all it took for it to collapse. And this happened again by November 2022. Just last year, again, 2022, very significant because you had this growth in cryptocurrency. You had a Bitcoin ETF approval, but then you had a lot of collapses, not only FTX, but there were a lot of bank runs, a lot of bank collapses, other financial institutions that just went under. And so again, the approval of the first Bitcoin ETF in the United States was a significant milestone. Again, for the industry, it made it easier for investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin without having to buy and store it themselves. But the collapse of FTX was also significant in that it highlighted the need for better regulation, security measures, and other industry standards. Well, the market has been pretty bare, honey. Very bearish since, I would say, the end of 2021-ish. 2022 for sure, all year long. And so now we're in 2023. We are in the fourth quarter, and we're starting to see a bit of a bull run, a bit of a push. And we had a run a little bit toward the beginning of the year, but it had kind of dropped off the cliff. And now we're back at the edge, and we're running up the hill a little bit. It looks like we're going to move in the right direction. And so 2023 was significant in that Ripple had a victory over the SEC lawsuit, accusing the company Ripple for selling unregistered securities with their sales of the XRP token. And so this was significant. It's huge. It's still ongoing. There's still a little bit more that needs to be decided in April of 2024, but it looks very favorable for Ripple. And so that is exciting news. First time in the history of the space that we have some kind of United States clarity, some kind of understanding of what constitutes a security and what doesn't, what's a commodity and what's not. So we're learning as we go, baby. We're learning as we go. So I believe we are pretty much at almost the end of this race when it comes to cryptocurrency and the new blockchain technologies that are introduced. Specifically, if you have tokens that have utility use cases that make sense, that solve real world problems. I feel like I'm sounding like Brad Garlinghouse, but it only makes sense. We have things in this world that we need to improve upon, and if we can create technologies that will help us do that, it only makes sense. It's a part of the fabric of our world. It's a part of how we become better as human beings, how we become more advanced, and how we make life a little bit more efficient is by creating and the use of technology over and over. Look at history, from building stone tools when we were just prehistoric beings to where we are today. We have grown because of the use of tools and technology that we have manipulated to work in our favor to make it easier for the human race. It's only going to grow from here. I believe next year, 2024, bull run, 2025, bull run, and then maybe a drawback, and then we'll see some really significant numbers in the late 2020s. I'm here for it. It's sexy to me. It's new. Let's do it. What do you all think? Did I forget anything? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.